welcome to WrestleToyz Live. Thank you guys for joining me. So this week, got a couple of pickups. Went to a local toy shop here in Houston, Texas, and snagged up a couple of things for my Macho Man collection. This was a $5 grab. I'll be releasing that video here pretty soon, but this was on their clearance table. $5 grab. I already have this one in my retro collection over there, but I wanted to keep that Macho Man in that one because I wanted to add him to my Macho Man collection here loose, because I already have that Superstars version of Macho Man. But also at the toy store, I was able to snag up these two Elizabeths. Now this one came with an actual protective box, and it was on the floor, and I have that in my upcoming toy hunt video. But this one, look at that, 15 bucks for this Elizabeth right here with the protective box covering right there. So I thought that was, you know, that alone with the extra boxing right there was worth it. So I snagged her up to put into my Macho Man collection. And this Miss Elizabeth was also $15. So got that. Everything was meant for was bought with the purpose. So that's one of my collecting rules, because I have so much stuff that quite a bit of it is in storage currently. But when you buy things, when you go on toy hunts, buy with a purpose. Otherwise, you're going to end up with just a lot of extra inventory that's going to try to end up reselling or just sit in storage for a long time. But until I can kind of clean up my Macho Man display, and actually, I mean, I do have like a lot of extra shelf space right there, but I'm trying to figure out the best way I can display these Elizabeths. Maybe I'll just display one Elizabeth. And even though I'm a Lucy collector, whenever I find, you know, one of these old, this isn't necessarily it's too old, but this is like a figure within the last 15 years, it's kind of tough for me to want to rip her open. So we're going to see about that one. But definitely, it's $5 grab. Gonna go ahead and rip him open him up. But with some of my recent grabs, I've been so busy, I actually haven't had any time to really find a spot for any of my newest grabs. I had that 4-pack recently. The reason why I have them out is I wanted to kind of show you. I thought that this Warrior was a re-release of the From the Vault Warrior, but it's actually... So this was one I got for Christmas, which was a From the Vault Ultimate Warrior. And they gave him a bit of a new head scan, and I was contemplating on replacing the Warrior that I have for my Winged Eagle display with this Warrior, since it's more of a newer release, maybe a little bit cleaner. But I just like how that old head scan looks on that particular Warrior, so I decided to go ahead and stay with that. Keep that one there. And with the 4-pack, I actually had thought that it was a re-release of that, but it wasn't until I put them side by side I noticed the difference in the trunk colors, and also that head scan of this 4-pack one. I had thought that this one wasn't so great, and I actually preferred the old head scan. Here's a basic version, and I like this head scan, kind of like a trimmer looking face on that Warrior. And that one, and the wavy hair looks a little bit more accurate to me than this Warrior. And this is still a solid looking Warrior, but this new head scan on that 4-pack, and with that wavy poofy hair that he's got, it just doesn't look as sharp to me. It doesn't strike me as like an accurate Warrior as this one. Still most definitely more accurate than some of like the older toys that we grew up with. Or actually the Hasbros did a pretty darn good job. So I'm kind of like splitting hairs here because it's still a damn good figure. But I just thought it was cool comparing the three of these. This is a basic version of this release. And right as I say that, one of the damn tassels came out. I am glad with this version, they don't have those removable. Actually, they do. I thought there was one I saw here that had like the tassels that were not removable. I probably mistook this basic one for that. But I hate, why do they have these removable tassels. Is that even necessary? Or maybe some people with the stop motion, they maybe like to make it look like it's flaring up and down. I had also pulled out some of my recent Goldbergs after the big Goldberg fiasco of him complaining about his retirement match, and instead of him coming off within the days following, he was getting rave reviews, and he could have just walked away, walked off into the sunset, as the old saying goes. But he had to go on Ariel Hawani's show and just kind of go on a negative tirade. And luckily for him, and unfortunately Hulk Hogan had died within that last week, to where his tirade kind of got to the back burner. But man, he was getting eaten up on podcasts like Busted Open and Jonathan Coachman's and Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7, and rightfully so, because he really came off as it just wasn't necessary, because they rolled out the red carpet for this man. He was still complaining. So I was gonna do something with these Goldbergs. Still haven't thought of anything. I actually had put the Divas Championship on Goldberg after hearing him complain so darn much. But from that 4-pack, I was really excited to get that Bruno Sammartino Championship belt. And I was going to try to... I was thinking if I could get my hands on another one of these big green belts that Hogan had, maybe displaying them, doing something like a little bit of a makeshift WWE warehouse display, buy a couple of dioramas and try to have like a background. But I was really excited to get this championship right here. And I'm not sure if there was an incarnation of the WWE Championship after this belt and the big green belt. There might have been one. I think there is one that I'm thinking about that Bob Backlund wore. There was one that Bob Backlund and Pedro Morales wore. And I'm just going off this by memory. This is easily that you can look up on Google, but I'm just going off of memory here as I'm talking. Just having a conversation here. But I was super stoked to get that. And I switched out Bruno's belt with Ray's shirt. And I was taking a look at this Bruno. Is Bruno Sammartino still alive? I think he might be. Did he outlive Hogan? But look at these trunk legs on Sammartino. Those are some thick old tree trunks of legs that they have. And I haven't watched too many Bruno Sammartino matches, which I could look up. But man, wonder if he feels good that they've done him justice with those tree trunk of legs. Mike Tyson not quoted, but is quoted as saying that Bruno Sammartino is his favorite wrestler. Tyson's from New York, so probably grew up watching a lot of the New York wrestling in WWE. I am happy with his John Cena. Whenever I did an unboxing of this, he kept timbering over, and that's because they have the feet set up to where he's got to have a foot stand, a peg stand to get him to stand. But he's going to look really nice. I got to find a spot for him. And then I just recently opened up these Road Warriors. I think it was about a week ago. And I still have to add them to my Road Warriors display. But definitely that Cena one. I'm going to find a good spot for him. Now, because I already have this one, I'm really not interested in collecting the box. I'm just going to go open this one the old-fashioned way and just rip. That feels good. I've been doing so long just using the scalpel to preserve the card back. And I actually still have all of my little Masters of the Universe comic books, WB Masters of the Universe crossovers, that I don't know if anyone... I collect them just because, at some point they might be worth something, but they don't really have much value to me other than they're just pretty darn cool looking, this artwork. Now I have my other Macho Man Masters of the Universe displayed. I've taken off the accessories that they have there, but I might display this one with his full accessories. Actually, maybe just with the hat. But they came in with a scepter, and he has like these shin guards. But let's take a look. How... There's Dory. Hey, sweetheart. So I got my Mega Powers. And I got my Ultimate Maniacs. I still got to get some sunglasses for Savage on that one. And I really like that Superstars one. I actually wish I had gotten the second one. And then that's actually looking pretty sweet right there. Then I got the Jax release of the robe. I got that from Goodwill at a really good price. And this is what it looks like with the out of box. Currently it's in box. And that's it, guys. So what have you guys got going on with the world of wrestling? You guys happy about that? ESPN is going to be in charge of the PLEs. I know I'm probably not the only one that's not too happy about that. But nonetheless, I do have one video that just recently dropped today. It's featuring my Hogan collection. And my Hogan collection goes beyond that shelf right there. But I go over everything and break down my top 5. If you guys get a chance, please take a look at that recent drop. Please share, like, subscribe, comment on my videos. If you love wrestling as much as I do, it really helped me out. I appreciate it. And it's just spread the wealth, spread the love. Share one of my videos with one of your buddies that also likes wrestling. I would appreciate it. And that's it, guys. I will catch you guys next time.